From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, friends. I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on actually practicing gratitude and Thanksgiving. And I really became very passionate about this concept a couple years ago when I wrote a book called Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, A Grateful Heart. And it was the first of maybe many, possibly many, of books in a series of inspirational devotionals for women. And the more research and time I spent thinking about the book and researching it and planning the book, the more astounded I was by all of the studies that I found that show how practicing gratitude helps you live longer. It decreases stress. It helps you build better relationships. It helps you become more resilient. It helps you become less self-centered. It helps you be more kinder. It helps you be healthier. It helps you sleep better. It helps you become more productive. And it even helps you have better self-esteem. And I thought, wow, this sounds like an ad for a wonder drug. And you really don't have to have a prescription to get it. And it doesn't cost anything. And it's available to every single one of us. And writing the book was just an incredible experience for me, but because, it's not that the book itself was special. It's the concept and the power of applying the principles of practicing gratitude. And that becomes life-changing. We often underestimate how simple things that are applied consistently over time can result in huge changes. So I really started to incorporate a lot of the practices and tips that I talk about in the book in my own life. And it's really transformational because sooner, just even over the course of a few short weeks, you find that you formed a habit of being grateful. Now, again, it's not the book that's so powerful. It's the process. The power is in the principle and the application of just being heartfelt and thankful and grateful. So I love to share 3 concepts on this because I think this is really the foundation, is that number one, each one of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139 talks about the complete knowledge that God has of us. And he created each and every detail of us. And I think when we forget that, sometimes it's easy to turn our focus away from being grateful, from being thankful for what we have instead of bitter about what we don't have, because we don't stop to remember that we are made, created in God's image. We are wonderfully made. We're not perfect, but we're perfectly imperfect. And I love that concept because each one of us is unique and special in our own way. And then second, that kind of brings me to this point of we are special and significant. God created us, he called us, he gifted us, he equipped us. And if we haven't tapped into what our purpose is, and we haven't yet realized the plan for us, it's important to be intentional about moving closer toward that purpose. Rick Warren talks about a purpose-driven life and how powerful that is. And I really think that gratitude is one of the keys, because it's when we learn to be grateful about what we have been given, we stop thinking about what we don't have, and we realize that it's all part of God's plan and purpose for us. And that brings me to the third point. Each one of us is established and equipped for one specific purpose in this time. Discovering and growing into our purpose and our calling is a process that we should joyfully seek out. Most of us don't identify it by accident, but we can intentionally get there. So That's kind of the why behind why it's so important to practice gratitude. And I shared with you some of the benefits, everything from sleeping better to having better relationships. So I would love to share with you just some of the ideas and thoughts that I had on practicing gratitude so that you can kind of incorporate some of these in your own life. Now, you may not want to do all of them. They may not all be a good fit for you or great ideas for you, but um, you know, just thinking about the ones that do fit, the ones that do work. So, practicing gratitude on a personal level. Let's talk about that first. I think number one, I love to start my day by really thinking about what do I have to be grateful for today? Whether you call it prayer or meditation, it's just spending the first few minutes of your day focusing in kind of the quiet and protect those minutes of your day. Be very protective of that and say, this is my time. I'm just going to spend a few minutes thinking about what am I grateful for today? What is on my calendar today that I'm going to be grateful for? What opportunities are going to come my way? What possibilities are coming my way? What are the challenges? We can be grateful for the challenges in life, just like we can be grateful for the opportunities, because really they are one and the same when we learn to look at it like that. And being grateful for those experiences will help us more think positively, more think more positively about those. So I love to do that. That's the first thing, is being grateful on a personal level, being grateful for what's going to come my way. What can I think about in a positive perspective today? How's that going to change my attitude? It really comes down to a grateful heart, which is the name of the book. And then I love to talk about being grateful with other people. I love writing handwritten thank you notes. For one reason, because it's such a small personal touch that can communicate gratitude in relationships. And with people, the little things are the big things. And I think the art of writing a thank you note is really just something that a lot of us have lost. But it's just, a stack of thank you notes. I got a whole box of them from Walmart for like $10. Just a whole box. And I keep a stack right here on my desk. And a couple of times a week, I find myself reaching into that drawer and pulling out a thank you note. So it's, just the little things sometimes about saying, hey, I'm going to be grateful for just things that, maybe somebody's done for me, or hey, maybe it's grateful for listening when I needed to talk to someone. Maybe it's grateful for doing me a favor. Just be intentional with other people about saying thank you, practicing gratitude and Thanksgiving in all your relationships, personally and professionally. Because here's the thing, when we are sincerely and honestly appreciative of someone and they know it, we are increasing our influence with that person. You've probably heard the suggestion that after you have a job interview with someone, sit down and send them a thank you note. Because most applicants aren't going to take the time to just say, hey, thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview with me. Most applicants aren't going to do that. And if you are the one applicant that does, that's going to set you apart miles beyond the other applicants. So, think about ways that just expressing sincere appreciation and gratitude can help you strengthen that relationship. And strengthening the relationship will strengthen your influence. I talked about that in an earlier episode. I think it was episode number 2, how influence is based on relationships. And practicing gratitude is so powerful in building that relationship. There are a couple of chapters in the book where I talk about, different ways to express gratitude to people. And I was reading in John Maxwell's fairly new book about no limits. And one of the ideas that he talks about in there is he heard the idea or read the idea to keep a gratitude journal. And I love that. So, you could do it for a whole year, you could do it for a few months, but have a gratitude journal about a specific person. And in his example, it was his wife. And I love that concept. I'm like, man, how awesome is that for someone to get a book as a gift at Christmas time or Thanksgiving or your birthday, and every page is filled with a gratitude thought from someone. So, for example, today I might write, thank you for just the little things like taking out the trash. Thanks for taking out the trash without being asked. It made me appreciate you. And the next day might be, thank you so much for going out and getting groceries in the pouring rain. It's just the little things that when we take time to express the gratitude. But what a cool gift idea is to get, a 90-day journal of thoughts, appreciation for little acts of kindness in a relationship. And I love that concept. But we don't have to have a whole book on it. We could just stop every couple of days and just think about ways can I express appreciation in the relationship. I'm telling you, it will take you miles beyond where you can imagine in terms of influence and relationship. I used to love to do this. I'm Mac and I are self-employed now, and we work from home most of the time. But one of the things I miss was when I worked in an office or an environment with other people, or even in the hospital, and I had opportunities to just express appreciation for my coworkers and my team members. And I have this book called A Carrot a Day, and it really talks about just the little ways that you can express appreciation or reward somebody or say thank you. And I loved just sitting down and reading all the different ideas in that book and say, man, how can I just be a little intentional about adding value to someone? And that's really what it is. We're adding value to someone else because it's the right thing to do. It's not about trying to manipulate them or trying to build influence intentionally because we want to use them. It's really about just pouring into the relationship. So I hope you've enjoyed just some thoughts, first on practicing gratitude on a personal level, because it changes our attitude, it improves our mood, and decreases our stress. It helps us in so many ways that we don't even think about. And then practicing gratitude with others in relationships, personally and professionally. You will find that just the simple things and practicing gratitude can be life-changing. It really is. It's amazing. So I'll look forward to next time. Take care.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.